Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. So I am officially back on YouTube and will hopefully go back to my regular video and audio message posting schedule as of this week. But in case you were wondering where I was, well, as part of my sole purpose, I was called to do grid work, and that requires you to travel. So my hope was that I'd be able to post some videos while I was away for this 2 week period, but I did not get the opportunity to do that. So hopefully now that I'm back to my regular posting schedule. I didn't know this trip would come as quick and fast as it did. I knew at some point in time I'd be called to do grid work, just didn't expect it to happen the way that it did and so quickly. Nevertheless, I'm back, I'm here, and I will go back to posting. So today I actually wanted to cover a question that came up on one of my videos, and I thought it would be a good place to really just make a separate video for this. And the question was really around, what if I don't actually want to be with anyone but my twin flame? What happens in that case? What if, I don't want to be with a divine counterpart other than my twin? So in this video, I really want to cover this. Now, there's really two key things to kind of wrap your head around on your twin flame journey. First off, as long as you're asking the question about when can I be with my twin, what do I do to avoid a relationship with anyone else but my twin? As long as you are seeking any sort of a relationship, you have to ask yourself, why do you even want it? When we are seeking, anything outside of ourselves, it means that there's something lacking within our own selves. And that's why this journey is actually about coming into inner union, coming into divine union, and stepping into that wholeness. When you step into wholeness, you automatically come to a place of having everything that you need from within. And therefore, you don't experience that lack. You're not searching anything on the outside, which also means that you no longer are seeking somebody else to fulfill you on the outside. So as long as you're asking this question, what if I don't want to be with anyone but my twin, or I still want to be with my twin? How do I get? You are coming from a place of being wounded. That means you have healing to do, and that means you're incomplete. And therefore, until you resolve all of that, you're unable to step into wholeness. And when you step into wholeness, the desires kind of just die away. It does not mean that you no longer seek companionship, right? We all need somebody there as part of our life. We have a really long life to kind of live, and it helps to really get through it when you have companionship. But companionship is very different than having somebody that you're desiring. You need fulfillment from somebody outside of yourself. And so when you're on your journey still asking these sorts of questions means there's work to do, and only you can do that work for yourself. There's nothing your twin can help you with. There's nothing anybody else can really help you with. This is your own healing journey. This is your own journey of self-mastery that you really need to work through. And so you want to really, if you're asking yourself this question, if you're still longing for your twin, this is an indicator for you to just bring all that energy, that time, that attention back to yourself so that you can work towards your own self-mastery. And when you actually do that, that question will shift. You no longer will be asking from a place of, wanting that fulfillment from somebody else. So that's the number one thing. The second thing to understand, and this one kind of hurts and pinches twin flames a little bit when you talk to them about this, but the truth of the matter is, who you think your, twin flame really is might not be. In a lot of the situations, and I'm seeing this, being prevalent more and more now, is that who you think your twin is really might just be a catalyst, somebody who ignited your awakening journey. It does not mean this is the person that you'll actually end up with once you have reached that state of inner union and divine union. So, as hard as that might be to accept, the only way to really know is to start making progress on this journey. And as long as you're focused on your twin, you're not going to make that progress. Now, the catalyst that comes in can ignite your Kundalini awakening. So, I've heard all sorts of things to say, if you're dealing with your twin, Kundalini will get activated, and it can't happen with the false flame. That's not true. You can have and be dealing with, a catalyst, somebody who's just come in to really have you look at your wounds, complete your healing journey so you can step into wholeness. And then when you get to that place of wholeness, you might actually have your true divine counterpart come in to support you, because it's possibly needed for your soul purpose, soul mission. It's really, really important on the twin flame journey to step away from that concept, that idea of physical union with your twin. Not that it's not going to happen, but because you don't know who you're dealing with, and it might be a catalyst, it is very, very important for you to understand that there's something much greater at play here, and it is what you've come here to fulfill. That is a soul purpose. That is to help humanity in some way. That is to reach your own union. That individual on the outside that you are trying to cling to and you believe is the be all and end all of this journey, well, that's not quite it. You're really here, that individual on the outside that you're, really kind of infatuated with, is there as a trigger, is there as a reminder for you to go and do your own inner work. And really who you come into union with at the end of this journey is meant to be really from a place of companionship, to be there to help you fulfill your soul purpose, and will be the right thing, as much as right now, coming from that place of still needing that healing, being wounded, you think that, oh my God, like this journey has put me through so much, only to find out that I'm not going to be with my twin. Well, the concept of everything that you're experiencing right now and what you're feeling is coming from a place of you being wounded, is coming from a place of you being unhealed. And you will feel very different when you've actually transformed on this journey. So don't look at, what you might be going through right now as, oh my God, I can't believe, this is the pain that I have to suffer only to not be with my twin. What you feel, what you think, what you experience at the end of this journey, once you step into wholeness, will be very different. In retrospect, all of it is going to make sense. You will have a very different understanding. Also, the triggers that come up on this journey, all that you work through, will make a lot of sense, and you will be in a place to really accept it. So don't think through this journey from a place of where you are. Just understand, this is the work that I have to do. This is what I have to do for myself, my own self-mastery. And what you end up getting at the end of it is going to definitely be worth your while. So you want to take the necessary steps to really move away from focusing on your twin and really focusing back onto yourself. I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. Your physical union with your divine counterpart is not the goal. That is what naturally happens as a byproduct of you doing all the work that's necessary on this inward journey of inner transformation. So focus on the inner journey, focus on the inward transformation, and the, physical union with the divine counterpart is naturally going to come together when you've reached the right vibrational frequency to be a match to that. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.